everyone, welcome back to another video. Yes, you can see my face, and in today's video, as you have seen by the title, we are looking at some of the worst theme parks, some of the worst amusement parks, attractions, whatever you want to call them, and some accidents. So let's get in straight to it. Before we do, the camera quality is not the best, but you guys can help me out by subscribing and liking and viewing. That is all I ask. But let's get straight into it. Today's video is brought to you by Theme Park Crazy. Alright, and let's get straight into this, shall we?
Put an explanation in a pinned comment.
Great channel, guys.
Amusement and theme parks attract millions of visitors around the world, but every so often, things will take a turn for the weird. From decapitated Disney villains to...
He said decapitated Disney villains. That's Ursula, isn't it? Is that Ursula? Let me know in the comments if it's Ursula.
projectile toilets, here are the top 10 strangest amusement and theme park incidents as voted on by the viewers. Just a quick note before we get started though, we'll be talking about plenty of crazy incidents in this video, and if you want to show how theme park crazy you are, head on down to my Teespring shop and pick up some theme park crazy merchandise. But enough merch talk, let's get on to the video. Number 10. Taxi thief travels to New Jersey's Six Flags Great Adventure during the off-season. Remember that scene in National Lampoon's Vacation where the Griswolds arrive at Wally World only to find it closed? Well, the exact same thing happened to one unfortunate criminal. In March 2019, 19-year-old Jonathan Gualpa of New York stole a taxi cab and attempted to drive it to Great Adventure. On the way there, though, he got tired and decided to pull over and take a nap. Police eventually tracked the cab down in New Jersey and found Gualpa asleep in the back seat. He was then apprehended on the spot. Here's the kicker though, even if he had made it to Six Flags, the park doesn't actually open until April, so he literally went through all of that trouble for nothing. He is currently awaiting trial, but perhaps the judge can tell him to check the park's online schedule. Number 9. Surfer climbs submerged roller coaster at New Jersey's Casino Pier. In 2012, Hurricane Sandy devastated the Jersey Shore, leaving many of its boardwalk attractions severely damaged. One of the attractions that was hit the hardest was Casino Pier, a popular boardwalk park in Seaside Heights. Until the hurricane, the park's main attraction was a roller coaster named Starjet. This E&F Miler coaster operated at the park for over a decade, but its life was suddenly cut short by Sandy. During the hurricane, the pier had collapsed from underneath the coaster, sending it into the...
Doesn't that look like the bay from GTA? Does it not? To me it does.
The Atlantic Ocean. For months, it would be quite a sight to see from the shore. However, in January 2013, one man decided to get a closer look at the coaster. 38-year-old surfer Christopher Angulo swam out to the coaster and actually climbed the structure. He then proceeded to place an American flag on top of the lift hill, baffling many onlookers.
Do you know what? If I was in that situation, right, and I saw a coaster and it was in the ocean, let's say if it was from the bay to the actual coaster, foot drops. There's a 10, the water goes down 10 feet. Alright, I'm 6'2", and I'm quite a strong swimmer. And let's say it was a quiet summer's day, okay? The water was nice and smooth. There was no current pushing me under and pulling me back or forward. I would quite happily do that. I think it'd be quite fun to do. Let me know in the comments.
Angulo was eventually arrested on the shore for criminal trespassing. To his credit, he claims he did this to raise awareness for Jersey Shore.
Okay, fair enough, he did get arrested. But I'm pretty sure trespassing isn't illegal. I need to search that up. No, it says it's legal. You can trespass.
Needless to say, there are much less dangerous ways to raise awareness. So,
if you don't know this already, I've searched it up. If you're trespassing on someone's land, that is completely fine. However, if they come up to you and go, please could you get off my land, you are trespassing, then it is illegal if you stay on their land. Does that make sense? Let me know if that makes sense in the comments. Go away.
The next time a roller coaster falls into the ocean, please don't climb it, folks. Number 8. Exposed Navy sailor runs amok at Virginia's Busch Gardens Williamsburg. As many park enthusiasts, including myself, will say, Busch Gardens Williamsburg is one of the most beautiful and thoroughly enjoyable theme parks in America. However, just a few months ago, things got pretty ugly in the parking lot. On October 12, 2018, 21-year-old sailor Adrian Gilbert Cardenas reportedly put on his birthday suit and proceeded to run amok inside the parking lot. He allegedly tried breaking into parked cars, some of which still had people inside them, and would try making a run for it once a police officer showed up. Cardenas was reportedly tased by the officer, who proceeded to pin him to the ground and put him in handcuffs. Local police said he was under the influence in more ways than one. Cardenas was charged with felony assault on an officer and indecent exposure. So suffice to say, don't do drugs. Number 7. Man punches camel at California's Six Flags Discovery Kingdom. Though no longer in operation, Six Flags Discovery Kingdom once had a camel exhibit located next to the Elmer's weather balloon service.
Is that not animal cruelty? I mean, I know this was some time ago, but like, isn't a camel supposed to be out in the desert and it's humps filled with water, not enclosed in a concrete and grass? Anyway.
Reportedly very popular, and guests were able to observe the camels from behind an enclosure. However, entry into this enclosure was easily accessible from the pathways, and one man took advantage of this. In May 2008, 24-year-old Christopher Allen was reportedly dared by friends to enter the enclosure and punch one of the camels. Allen was immediately detained by park security, but would end up escaping to his getaway car. But police would catch up to Allen and the getaway car's driver. Fortunately, the camel involved was not injured in the incident. In a stranger turn of events, Allen would attempt to auction the shoes he was wearing that day on eBay, using the nickname Alleged Camel Slappin' Chris. Funnily enough, this incident was very similar to a scene in Conan the Barbarian where Arnold Schwarzenegger punches a camel. Schwarzenegger was governor of California at the time of the incident, so perhaps Allen was just being patriotic. Number 6. Tigger punches teenager at Florida's Disney's Hollywood Studios. Winnie the Pooh is perhaps the most non-violent and wholesome franchise in history. Even I have a pair of Winnie the Pooh slippers.
Okay, when I was a child, I did watch Winnie the Pooh. I did. With Piglet and Eeyore and Tigger and stuff. Are they not making a Winnie the Pooh horror film? I'm sure they are. Let me know in the comments, are they? Because I want to know. And then secondly, I've been told they're making a Mickey Mouse horror film where Mickey Mouse is a horror character. I'm positive of it. I am positive of it. I'm sure.
And those things are comfortable as hell. Tigger in particular is one of the franchise's most lovable characters, and you wouldn't expect him to punch someone, but 12 years ago he did just that. In January 2007, Tigger was doing a routine photo op with a mother and her 3 kids. At one point, the oldest child named Jerry Monaco Jr. appeared to pull on the back of Tigger's costume. This prompted Tigger to punch the teen right in the face. Monaco's father claimed the attack was unprovoked, but observers noted that the teenager was clearly antagonizing Tigger by grabbing the back of him. This has led many to speculate.
I'll let you read through this, but I'm going to explain what I interpreted from it. It looked like he fell back, grabbed onto the suit for support, so he didn't fall and hit the metal bar behind him, and brought Tigger down with him and hit him. Let's look at that again.
Was clearly antagonizing Tigger by grabbing the back of him. This has led many to speculate that the teenager was trying to unzip Tigger's costume and was choking him in the process. As such, many agree that Tigger punched the teenager in self-defense and did nothing wrong. Plus, a good amount of onlookers argue that it wasn't so much of a punch as it was of a shove. The employee involved was suspended without pay but would not face any criminal charges. Number 5. Ursula loses her head at
Look at that, like, it looks so... I don't even know how to describe that.
The creepiest part was that the head was still fully functional, singing along to Poor Unfortunate Souls as if nothing happened. It was like something straight out of a Five Nights at Freddy game. Park guests reported plenty of traumatized, crying children, but those who weren't crying were laughing their heads off at this gruesome sight. Coincidentally enough, another animatronic on Pirates of the Caribbean would lose his head on the exact same day. If that isn't one of Disneyland's biggest coincidences, I don't know what is. Number 4, no screaming rule implemented at California's
Subscribe.
Scandia. Sacramento's Scandia Fun Center currently serves as the top amusement destination in California's capital city. It features a massive miniature golf course, a Wild Mouse roller coaster, and a thrill ride named Sky Screamer. This ride is a direct successor to the Scandia Screamer. Believe it or not, the original Scandia Screamer had a rule in place that directly contradicted the ride's name.
I just would not trust one of them. I don't know. It could be. I mean, it could be.
In an effort to address these complaints, the park initially put in a no profanity rule, but when the complaints kept coming, park officials banned all screaming from the attraction in question.
I mean, you
Upon boarding the ride, passengers were told, quote, "We are required to remove you from this ride if you make any noise. If you feel you might make a noise, please cover your mouth tightly with your hand. If we hear any noise through your hand, we will remove you from the ride. So please remain silent and enjoy the screamer."
Just open the restraints and let them go flying off.
Noises were removed
see you
from
later.
the ride and were even sent to the back of the line as punishment. As you can imagine, this rule was ridiculed by thrill-seeking park guests. It also caused confusion with ride operators. In one instance, they mistook someone's excitement from getting a hole-in-one on the mini golf course as a scream from the ride.
Mate, you
the
look
rule
like
was eventually phased out, but its very existence at least provided a good laugh for many. Number 3, supermodel gets goosed at Virginia's Busch Gardens, Williamsburg. Italian supermodel Fabio rose to fame in the 1980s after modeling for several popular romance novel covers. His long hair and chiseled appearance made him a household Italian name. Therefore, in 1999, Busch Gardens officials called him for the grand opening of Apollo's Chariot, the first ever B&M hypercoaster and the newest addition to the park's Italian section. On the morning of March 30th, Fabio and the media were on the scene. Accompanied by several women in togas, Fabio boarded the ride expecting an airtime-packed good time. As the coaster navigated the course, cameramen at the station waited anxiously for the train's return, and they were in for quite a surprise. Upon re-entering the station, a frazzled-looking Fabio appeared to have blood on his face, and many assumed he had broken his nose. However, what actually happened was much stranger. At some point during the ride, an unidentified goose flew into the coaster's path. At that point, Fabio's face collided with the unfortunate avian. Fabio was treated for minor cuts at the hospital, and would later give his condolences to the goose's family on TMZ. Number 2, toilet shoots water at Florida's Disney World. Walt Disney World is one of those places that needs no introduction. It's one of the most popular tourist attractions on Earth and is home to a plethora of elaborate attractions. But what you may not know is that its construction involved a pretty messy incident. Before the resort officially opened, a preview center on the property would
Hold on. Was that a kid operating the Slinky ride? Let's
plethora of elaborate attractions. But what you may not know is
hang on. Zoom in on this. Is that not a child? It looks like a child. It looks like a female, male, whatever you... It just looks like a classic little child Karen Gen Z thing.
is that its construction involved a pretty messy incident. Before the resort officially opened, a preview center on the property would give guests a sneak peek at what was to come. Guests would watch a short film on the project's development and could even book their reservations for resort hotels. But all of these hotels, in addition to nearby businesses, would naturally mean a lot of sewage and water pipes were necessary. So in order to handle the massive amount of plumbing, a souped-up system was put in place. This system involved substantially oversized sewage and water pipes pipes, and they would provide all of the necessary plumbing to the resort. According to David Koenig's book, Reality Land, True Life Adventures of Disney World, this unique system would result in a truly strange incident on the Preview Center's opening week. The book says, quote, "About the second day that we were open, a lady went into our restrooms to use the facilities. She flushed the toilet and a 2-foot column of water blew her up off the seat. It was a mess and it scared the daylights out of her. The pipes were too big, we had to reduce the pressure." Just imagine something like that happening in the Tangled restroom. Now that would be one crazy news piece. Number 1, teen throws hot sauce at passengers at Ohio's Cedar Point. Since its opening last year, Steel Vengeance has become known as one of the best roller coasters on Earth. You could say that it's the hottest attraction at the park, but a few months ago, this ride got even hotter, and not in a good way. In July 2018, a group of older teenagers were reportedly waiting in line for Steel Vengeance. One of the teens then took out several packets of Panda Express chili sauce from his pocket, and the group proceeded to start playing around with them like a bunch of toddlers. They reportedly stomped on the packets repeatedly, and at one point, one of the teenagers threw a packet at a passing ride vehicle. The small but potent amount of hot sauce got on passengers' clothes and even in their eyes. Needless to say, hot sauce in the eyes is really painful. Police say the teens' parents were notified, and let this be a lesson to any hot sauce happy teens out there. Don't mess with.
But my thing is, how do you get that accuracy? I mean, if it was in the break room, then like, okay, but Steel Vengeance as a whole, like the whole ride is a fast, intense steel coaster. Like it's not slow. It's fast. So how do you get the accuracy? Do you like shoot in front and like that? I mean, fair dues, but like it's a bit
with Steel Vengeance. And also, I want to give a special shout out to my newest Patreon.
Okay guys, I hope you have enjoyed this video. If you have enjoyed this video, you know what to do. Like, subscribe, and share. And of course, TikTok is in the description. We've got some pretty cool TikToks up there at the moment. YouTube Shorts isn't really liking me at the minute with regards to views, but TikTok is it's mediocre, you know, it is what it is. But anyway guys, I hope you have gone on to enjoy this video. If you have, do whatever you want to, and let me know down in the comments what you think about everything, and let me know if you want to see another video like this. Thank you guys for watching. See you in the next one.